Hi guys, it's Max here with dartsreviews.tv in association with dartsplanet.tv. We've got some Mission Javan Darts for you today. Quite interesting. These are brass and silver darts. Not a big thing that we've done too much of in the past, but it's really interesting, especially with the amount of new players coming into the sport. It's something that they can go out and try without breaking the bank and everything, and gives them a feel for all these different sort of like grips and sort of like barrel shapes and everything like that. But what I think we'll do is we'll go and get these out over on the table so we can have a closer look. So we're over at the table with the Mission and Javan darts. Box is quite simple, almost got that sort of like tiger line sort of pattern behind. Name down here on the left. Window showing the dart setup. We've got the Mission logo, and we have the 22-gram steel tip, and they're 0.05 gram match weighted. Over on the back, we have the name, a little bit of a write up there from Mission, what's in the box, and some safety information. So let's get them out and have a look. Comes in this velvet covered plastic insert. Mission like to use, does everything it needs to, holds it safe and secure in the box. Got the 3 barrels and stems set up in a Mission branded point holder, and the flight's just in behind. Let's have a closer look at one of the darts. Starting at the front of the dart, we have a standard black coated point, adds a bit more grip going into the board. Then we go into a smooth section of the conical nose, and then we go straight into this little grippy section which has 4 rings and 5 grooves. I can feel them, they're a little bit sharp, so they are a little bit pointed and not quite square cut. Then we go into the parallel section where we have 3 smooth sections, followed by 3 black grooves and 2 rings. These look square cut. I can feel the edges ever so slightly on my finger and thumb, so they're not too deeply cut, but they do add a grip element to it. Obviously, it's a wider barrel because it's a brass dart. Then we go to the rear taper where we have the 3 orange grooves and 2 wider rings. So it is a slightly wider grip than the black section, and there's 2 of those separated by the smooth section as well. Then we have the etched in Mission logo going into the short grip lock stem, which is a nice black one. Obviously, it's a wider dart being brass. It's 22 grams, so it's quite wide here, but it's adding plenty of different grip zones. So ideal for beginners or children or something looking at getting into darts without breaking the bank. So it gives them a feel for different grip types and different weight distributions and everything like that. So they can play about before going out and spending a lot more money on a slightly better set of darts that's going to give them better grouping and things like that. Measurements on this at its widest part is 7.9 millimeters, and the barrel length is 54 millimeters. So all in all, not a bad little brass dart. Definitely something to get you started and play about with different grip zones and weight distribution and everything like that. But what I think we'll do is we'll get a flight on, we'll head on over to the board and we'll have a throw. We're over in the dart room with the Mission Brass Darts. These are the Javan Darts. Quite interesting, coming out with more brass darts nowadays, but it's really good for newcomers and youngsters. Gets them a good feel for what darts feel like and how they fly, and get used to the weight as well. Especially if they're playing at home with you, sort of thing. The dartboard's a bit higher. Obviously, these are a little bit lighter, but the dart itself is a bit thicker. I'm going to have a couple of throws so I can get used to them, because I usually throw a slightly thinner dart, and then we'll go into our 201 practice routine. So let's see how we get on with them. Starting off nice and straight. Taking a bit of getting used to the thickness of the dart, but the actual grip itself, it's not too grippy, but I can definitely feel my finger and that slipping into the rings a little bit. Oh, force that one a little bit. And a ton 40, there we go. Who said you can't score with a brass dart? Managed to correct myself. I'm starting to get used to the feel of the thickness. The weight's okay because it's like 22 grams, so it's not an over heavy dart anyway. And the grip itself is quite consistent, so you can play about with where you're holding and get a more consistent level flight, or you can have it dip in. It's all how you play about with it. But yeah, I think we should be okay. So let's go straight into our 201 practice routine. Game on. Or another ton 40, two back to back, leaving us 61. See if we can get a tidy finish. Oh, just out. And there we go in 3 darts. Well, I was a little bit shocked with that, but I got a really clean release with it. Had a little bit of a wobble through the air. I think changing the setup will definitely tidy that up. But 2 ton 40s back to back. Never know, I might even change these to my own darts. So yeah, let's go have a final thought. Well, considering these are brass darts and it's not something I would normally throw, especially with the width of them, I done it in 6 darts. I'm more than happy with that. They flew through the air really, really nice. The balance was okay, and the actual type of grip suits quite a few people. It's a standard sort of like ring grip, but you've got that push point at the back as well, which adds just a little bit of a grip element, especially as it's a brass and silver dart. It feels like a really, really smooth barrel, so it can be a little bit slippy, but where I was holding, I'm going to give it a grip rating of 1.5. So not even around about the middle. It's on the lower end, but it gave enough to give a good consistent control to my throw. The weight that this comes in is only 22 gram. I think that's a really good starting weight. It's not too heavy or anything, so it's not going to be a massive dart, and I think they've kept the dimensions just right for this for new darts players coming out, so they can try all the different throw styles and everything like that, and they can always move on eventually and maybe put these in the drawer for a family member or a child to start playing with in the future. Price point for this is really, really good. It's only £12.95, so it's not breaking the bank, and you're not going to be too disappointed if you sort of like damage them or if you don't keep them for a long amount of time, because obviously once you've used them for a while and you've improved, you might want to move on to another set. If you've got a set of these or looking to get a set, maybe got a question or two, head on down into the comment section and let us know. Somebody will try and get back to you as soon as possible. Make sure you head on over to dartsreviews.tv and dartsplanet.tv. Lots of stuff on there, whether you've got 5 minutes or half an hour to pass the time. There's articles, reviews, competitions, all sorts, and might even be an article about one of the players that you really, really like. Also, while you're over there, head on over to dartsplanet.tv and check out Superfans. Fantastic new thing that you could sign up for. There's lots of giveaways on there, and there's some really big discounts to be had at some major stores. Something to look out for. You could save some big money or even just a few pennies. It's up to you. Make sure you tick subscribe and tick the notification bell so you can keep track of what's coming up in the future. And as always, come back, check us out again soon. Bye.